You know, the college football season is so close you can practically smell, taste, and touch it because the college football video game rankings are out for us to have, to hold, to break down, to overreact to. EA Sports released their top 25 overall rated teams in the game. Now, you look at these rankings and you assume, okay, it's probably having to do with the talent of these teams relative to their overall rating. So we'll break it down right now. I told you we'll overreact. We'll break it down, things that we think are interesting, things that we think are egregious, a couple of points when it comes to, hey, this team is way too low. We'll unpack all of it right now. Before we do that, though, make sure you are subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel. Right? College football year-round, whether it's the game itself, whether it's the video game itself, whether it's recruiting, the portal, college football year-round. If you're a college football sicko, this is your spot. Make sure you subscribe. We appreciate y'all locking in with us. Also, get at me on the socials, Instagram, Twitter, at JD PicKell. Let me know your thoughts on these rankings over there. More content around the game on those channels as well around the corner. Okay, let's get into this. Take a look at these top 25. From the jump, man, the first thing that you look at and that you see is Alabama, the Crimson Tide, a team that missed the college football playoff a year ago. A team that no longer has the greatest coach in college football anymore. Running the show, Kalen DeBoer's squad. Number one, man. I won't go so far as to say this is incorrect. Now, this was surprising. I don't think in my own personal rankings of most talented teams and overall rated teams, I'd have Alabama at one. So that's the first part. But the case for Alabama at number one really starts on the defensive side. Like, they have the best defense in the game. I'd probably swap Ohio State and Texas personally. I'd probably put Ohio State at 2 and Texas at 3. But I think Texas at 2 is probably an arch conversation to be had, so I'm okay with it. Penn State at 4, great with it. Notre Dame at 5. Says a lot about what Marcus Freeman has done, all right? Says a lot about the way he's put that roster together, the way they've attacked the portal, the way they've recruited, trending upward, no notes there. Georgia at 6, it's a little bit jarring just to see them at 6 behind Notre Dame, behind Penn State. Not that it's wrong, because Notre Dame beat them last year in the college football playoff. So you have that. Clemson at 7, that is far too low, which is where the next part of this discussion starts. Clemson at number 7, y'all, Clemson might be the most talented team in college football if you're talking about potential NFL draft picks. Like, when we fast forward the tape to the first round of the NFL draft, I promise you there will be a lot of tiger paws that pop up on your screen. And this guy played at Clemson, and he was there for however many years under Dabo Swinney, recruited, trust the process, all that things. There's a lot of NFL talent ahead of next season out there in Clemson, South Carolina. So them at 7, to not even be top 5 to me is ridiculous. LSU also is, I believe they're sitting there at number 10. Thank you, Cato. Yeah, sitting there at number 10. Fourth most talented SEC team, to me, feels a bit egregious if we're just going to keep it a buck right now. So those are the notes I have. Again, I don't think these are conversations where you're going to get me super fired up when it comes to that top 10 necessarily. I see the case. I mean, A&M at 8 is interesting. Oregon at 9 is interesting. A&M at 8 is maybe a touch higher than I think I would probably have had them from a talent perspective, but the folks at EA have them at 8. Okay, so you like the roster. This is where we get into the conversation where I'm like, what are we doing here? Illinois at 25. Are we being serious? Are we watching the same thing on the football field? Illinois at 25, returning as much production as they do from a squad last year that was as good as they were last year under Brett Bielema, returning their quarterback, Luke Altmaier. South Carolina at 24. 24? They might have the best player not named Jeremiah Smith in college football next year with Lenora Sellers, for my humble opinion. Duke at 23. What am I missing with Duke? And I love Manny Diaz. I'm all here for the academic institutions getting some juice on the football field. But Duke at 23? Ahead of Illinois, ahead of South Carolina. I'm here for Darian Mensah. I'm here for that experience. Duke at 23. I don't know what I'm missing. That's where I really get fired up, probably is 23 to 25. There's a couple, though, that I want to just take note of. A couple of, that's interesting, because I believe now, unless I'm just way off base here on my logic, I believe the folks at EA put these ratings together doing some in-person homework. I believe they go to some practices. I think they watch the guys, similar to how it goes with the Madden ratings. So they're not just making this up as they go. There's some real tangible evidence they're looking at from, again, what I can gather. Texas Tech at 13, ahead of Arizona State. Texas Tech, per EA Sports, best team in the Big 12 per the ratings. Okay, keep an eye on that. Michigan at 15, ahead of not one but two college football playoff teams from a year ago in Tennessee and SMU. Just saying, that's interesting. Okay, good to know. Ole Miss at 16. It's always tricky to evaluate Ole Miss on a yearly basis, but I will say Lane Kiffin went out and hand-selected Austin Simmons, who graduated college at a whopping 13 years old, I believe. Also crushing on the baseball diamond. Like, dude, special. Just saying, Ole Miss, with Lane Kiffin's hit rate in the transfer portal, yeah, likes what Ole Miss has on the roster. Last note here, 12 of the top 25 teams in the game in the SEC. That's not us having SEC bias. That's not anyone on ESPN having something to say about this. That is EA going in person, again, from what I can gather, and making these rankings based on what they're seeing with their own eyes. So do I disagree with some things here? Absolutely. I'm not even sure that I would put 12 of those teams in the top 25, but that's just what EA is saying. If you disagree with these rankings, clearly based on this video, I'm in the same boat as you. One thing I do want to call your attention back to is when these rankings dropped a year ago, and Colorado was ranked a lot higher in the eyes of EA than the eyes of the college football public, myself included. I was a little bit thrown off by where they had Colorado last year. And Colorado, true to EA's rankings, went out, won 9 football games, competed in the month of November to be in the Big 12 title race, to then be in the college football playoffs. So I don't think you take these as gospel, but I do think that it's maybe worth giving a little bit of extra margin to EA to maybe, just maybe, know something that we don't at this point in the college football calendar year. No team in these rankings now was rated a 90 overall. Will that change? Could be, but just something to think about. So the bottom line here, we need college football back. Cannot wait for this game to come out. Need the real thing to actually happen on the field sooner rather than later. But again, if you're watching right now and you're a college football sicko, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. For Caden Smith on the ones and the twos, myself, JD PicKell, appreciate y'all, love y'all. We'll keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time.